Now on Denver 7 News, new details in the shooting death of Ma King, as Denver police arrest 3 suspects while searching for a fourth.
New laws are increasing the penalty for stealing a package off someone's porch. How well they could work to deter crime and some solutions that may be even more effective. And with all the teacher shortages, how one program is seeing success keeping new educators in the classroom.
And big moves on the Broncos bench. See who the team is keeping and who got cut as the team finalizes their roster.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Micah Smith. Today, Denver police announced the arrest of 3 suspects in the death of Ma King. Pa Ray, Nura Allah, and Lou Ray are all facing first-degree murder charges. DPD says there is also a warrant out for a 4th suspect, 19-year-old Swabe. Back in July, Ma King was shot and killed by a stray bullet outside her home along East Colfax. This afternoon, investigators are revealing more details about what exactly happened.
The 4 offenders were in New Freedom Park near 13th and Xania. These individuals had observed a vehicle that was driving around the park. They didn't recognize it and didn't believe the vehicle belonged in the area. The offenders, each armed with a handgun, shot multiple rounds at the passing vehicle as it traveled on 13th Avenue. At the same time, Ms. Kang and her family were unloading items from a vehicle in the 1300 block of Xania Street. One of the rounds fired from within the park struck Ms. Kang and killed her.
We'll have more on these arrests coming up later on Denver 7 News at 5. We turn now to some breaking news. Former Soviet Union President Mikhail Gorbachev has died. Gorbachev was the last leader of the country before the fall of communism and is credited with helping to end the Cold War. He was 91 years old. Growing frustrations over Colorado's response to stolen food benefits. Contact Denver 7 first broke this story last week. We've since learned more than 100 families have been targeted this year, their food budgets stolen through no fault of their own. Jamie O'Reilly is a full-time student at Red Rocks Community College and a single mom of 2. This month, $900 disappeared from her electronic benefits card, charged by someone in Virginia.
I get $900 worth of groceries stolen within a week of receiving my benefits. What is my family supposed to do for the next 30 days?
Colorado officials have said this is a national problem. Federal policy does not protect stolen benefits, so they cannot be replaced. But Contact Denver 7 has learned an appeals court actually required the state of California to replace stolen electronic benefits. Tonight on Denver 7 News at 6, why advocates are pushing Colorado to do more and how some counties are filling in the gaps. Now to the Broncos, making their final preparations for the regular season. Today, they solidified their roster, cutting the team down to just 53 players. Denver 7's Broncos insider Troy Rank joins us live at UC Health Training Center in Troy. The Broncos are making some big moves today.
Yeah, Micah, this is always one of the toughest days of the year as players get cut. In the NFL, it's an abrupt inning. There's no minor league, so if you don't make it to the practice squad, sometimes your journey is over, your career is over. And the Broncos, as you mentioned, they made some tough decisions today. McTelvin Agim, he had a huge game, the defensive lineman from Arkansas against the Vikings. He did not make it. Then you go to someone like Brett Rippon. He did make it. The kid from Boise State, first time he's been on the 53-man, so no Agim, but you get Rippon on there who beats out Josh Johnson. And then the big move of the day, George Paton trades outside linebacker Malik Reed, who's led the team in sacks since 2019, trades him to the Steelers. We caught up with George Paton today in his press conference and asked him about trading Malik Reed and why Brett Rippon beat out Josh Johnson.
I love Malik. Everyone does. Great kid, really good player. We just had a log jam. You know, we have a lot of really talented outside backers that can rush, and so thought it'd be best to trade Malik and trade him to somewhere where he's going to fit in a really good organization. And we wouldn't have just traded him anywhere. He wanted to go to Pittsburgh, and we found a home for him, and I think it's a win-win for both sides. It was really tough. Brett and Josh had a great competition. It came down to the final game. But the body of work. I mean, it was both these guys did a lot of really good things. I just think the way Rip operated the offense, the way he moved the team, he did some really good things. And so, I'll let Coach Hackett kind of talk about the rest of that. But it was a really close competition. We hope to get Josh back as well.
Well, today's roster will not be the same tomorrow, Micah. This is how this works in the NFL. Michael Ojemudia and Greg Dulcich will be placed on IR tomorrow. That will free the Broncos to bring back tight end Eric Tomlinson and former Highlands Ranch prep star Mike Purcell. So they're not done making moves yet. It'll be fluid at the back end of the roster. But the Broncos like their team as they get ready to head to Seattle in less than a couple weeks. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Troy. And don't forget, you can watch the Broncos season opener in Seattle right here on Denver 7. It's less than 2 weeks away on Monday, September 12th.
The job market is getting stronger despite signs of a possible recession. The U.S. had about 11.2 million open jobs in July. That's according to new data out today. It's a slight increase from June. Since May of last year, there have been about 2 open jobs for every person who needs work.
If you're a candidate right now in this marketplace, you're in the most demand that you've been, even in the beginning of the pandemic.
The numbers reflect an ongoing shortage of workers in key areas like hotels, restaurants, hospitals, and schools.
In terms of demographics, people getting older, there's obviously then increases the need for healthcare. And same thing, I think on the teacher side, there's probably a demographic element there as some of the older teachers sort of head towards retirement, and there may not be enough people at the bottom of the funnel to kind of make up for that.
But July's data reflected a cool down in other areas. Fewer jobs were open in construction, finance, and tech. Those areas were hit hardest by recent interest rate hikes.
If you're in those areas, you are seeing layoffs. Those are real layoffs. Outside of that, people are still struggling to hire quality employees, whether it's warehouse workers, restaurant workers, or whether it's executives. Everybody's still grasping to try to find some great talent.
Experts believe job openings will dry up if interest rates continue to go up. But the market is so strong, it could take months or even years to cool off completely. Well, having paid sick leave from work could be a matter of life or death. That's what a new study in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine is suggesting. It found places with local laws protecting paid sick leave had lower rates of worker deaths from homicide, suicide, and alcohol. Researchers project that death rates could fall by 5% in major cities if they mandated at least 40 hours a year of paid sick leave. The U.S. is one of the few developed countries that doesn't have a nationwide policy on paid sick time. The average credit score this year remains unchanged from last year at 716. That's an all-time high, according to a report out today from FICO. The company says although there has been an uptick in people missing credit payments, it's been balanced out by more people opening new lines of credit. Now, although 716 is a good score, FICO experts say it's the first time the national average hasn't increased year over year since the Great Recession. We're seeing the housing market start to cool off, but by the numbers, buying is still competitive. New information from the National Association of Realtors today shows 2.8 offers for every home listed. Historically, this represents a competitive market, but that's down from the average 5.5 offers in April. 82% of homes on the market sold within a month, and a quarter sold within 2 weeks. Well, decades of underfunding means cities have stretched the lives of trains and buses far beyond what's considered safe. Now, a crisis playing out in one major city could be a sign of what's to come for the rest of the country. What's being done to prevent this and keep public transit moving?
Plus, a sure sign Boulder County is recovering after the Marshall Fire, the Superior shopping staple that's finally back open. Next.